Hello, hello. Hopefully you're there. Just gonna tune in on my iPad, wherever you are. Should it go live? Yeah, it's live. Hey, Kerry. MasterChef finished? Oops, turn the volume down. Okie dokie. Hi, Judy. How's everybody doing? I've got exciting things to show you tonight. Sorry, I was just setting up my iPad so I can see if people comment. Okay, I'm going to start with you not looking at my face tonight for a start. I just want to talk to everybody first before we kick off about this catalogue. Look. Hi, Andrea. Hi, Carol. This catalogue ends on... It's March and April, so it ends... What's tomorrow? Friday? No, tomorrow's Thursday. This one ends tomorrow night. So anything that's in this book, while some of it could carry over for a little while online, the book ends. So if there's anything in this lovely book that you would like, including the set that I'm featuring tonight, all the sets that I've featured in layouts or cards over the past few weeks, you need to get it now. I would recommend the mix-ins. They're just gorgeous. We're featuring this one tonight. It's called Around the Clock, and I'm going to show you two spinner cards. I haven't made anything with this one yet, but I will. So lovely, lovely book. Going, nearly gone. All right. That one's sold out already, the embossing folder. I'm going to feature this stamp set tonight. So this was the March stamp of the month. I may have one or two left of those. So with a $80 purchase, you can get that for $9, even retrospectively. Finally got the Toffee Shimmer brushes in stock. They've come in, and I'm hoping my seashells arrive this week. They've only just come back in. I've still got a few of those sets left as well. They're Officially Awesome, again, with an $80 purchase. They're yours. One other thing to mention is our cardstock carnival. So that's our cardstock is all on special. So a 24 pack is $23.50 versus $30.50. You can get a mix pack for the same price of like shades of green. For $23.50 you get 24 sheets. There is another bundle. There's a bundle that you get 6 sheets of every colour cardstock in the entire range, and it's $220. I am happy to do a split of that. If anybody wants to take me up on the offer, I can split it in 3 and they'd be like about $75 for 2 sheets of each colour. Or I can split it in half and you'd get 3 sheets of each colour for $110. Last chance to get that is tomorrow as well. So that's a special. The other thing, hi June. The other thing, well, I thought it was Saturday, and technically in the USA it is a Saturday. We're having the National Scrapbooking Day event. You will have seen that I've posted on Facebook the event details. If you RSVP to the event, you automatically go into the prize draw. It starts at 3 a.m. on Sunday morning and goes till 3 p.m. I've put up the list of projects that they're working on. You don't have to have the stuff to work along with them. You could purchase that afterwards, or you could scrap your stash and use your own stash to make the projects that they're putting up. So that's going to be super exciting. So yeah, you don't have to get up at 3 a.m. either and watch it. They will be posted to Facebook after each session. All right, let's get into the fun bit because you don't want to be bored by me yabbering on. All right, moving on. I'm also featuring tonight, to make these cards, you need the card front spinner. It's super cool. It's a, it's got a little wheel, it's got a disc, and it's got a card front. I'm going to show you to cut the card front. Go away. My watch is talking to me. It's got a wheel, a disc, and then the card front. It's got stitching around the outside, and it's got little grooves in there as well as guides. I've made myself an acetate template. It took a little bit of cutting, but I got there in the end. And I've also cut out a window so that I stamp in the exact right spot without having to guess or draw lines. So I'll show you that in action because I haven't done any of that pre-stamping. As I said, I am featuring this stamp set, so it's the Family Legacy. Just two items, and I'll show you that outcome in a minute, or a preview. And then I'm also using this Around the Clock, so it's $57. It comes with a set of stamps, and I love this set, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love it. And it possibly would have been nice if there was a thin cut for these two little border things, but they're not that hard to cut out. The thin cuts that came in were the little house with the window, a couple of trees, a little love heart, a couple of little scallops that cut quite nice, a couple of little birdies, the hands for your clock, the dingle dangle thing for the ding dong, and then a couple of others. I don't know exactly what they're called, but you know, for the grandfather clocks. So this is the set that I'm featuring tonight. I will be using a couple of other little things off here. I'll just have to take them off when I need it. I've already got some things loaded. It's even got tiny little birdie eyes, beak and feet. Cute as. All right, flip that. Let's get going. Oops. All right, so first up, so for the spinner card front, I can tell you what the size is. I think it's 4 by 5 1/4. Let me see. Yeah, that's roughly about what it is. I've cut a piece of cardstock that is 4 1/2 by 6. It just gives me a bit of extra room. These are the other two bits that you need for the spinner. So that's from that spinner set. I'll put the others away. I've already cut them, the middle bits out. I've cut the big spinner in the colour, usually in white or French vanilla. And then the little disc, it doesn't matter because nobody's going to see it. So I'm just going to make a little bit of noise. Now, I'll give you a hint. I find with these big dies like this, I need to use them flat down on my magnetic plate with them cutting up into the acrylic plate. So I'm going to place my cardstock on the top. So make sure the side that you want showing is facing down. So I'm going for the lighter color this time. And then I'm just going to make my sandwich and put my lid on. Push my handle until it turns. And then rolly, rolly. It's time for a new one. You can see my table shaking. Okay. And see, there's not much wastage there. It's got a nice little notch there for the spinner. Tuck that on the floor for later. Now, I've done everything else I needed to thin cut. I've thin cut all my little dangles. I've thin cut the houses. I've thin cut everything because I didn't think you'd want to sit here and watch me do it. That would just take too long. So I'll get rid of this. And I'll probably hit my foot on it later. So, 2 cards. I'm going to show you 2 different sorts of cards. So this one here, I haven't done a lot of colouring. There's no colouring with markers. There is a little bit of sponging and a little bit of stamping, and I'll show you that in a second. This section here I've cut. I should show you all the bits as I go through. Basically, this is the little house and his door's open. So I'm going to stamp those. See the bottom here on this little house? I've actually cut another piece of that in toffee, and then I've stamped a little, on this set, there's a little border that goes on top of that. For the other card of that bit, I actually fussy cut that little bit out. I stamped it in blue and fussy cut that out. Oops. Make sure I don't lose bits. So that's one bit. The trim for the top of the clock, I've stamped that on toffee with espresso as well, and I've just hand cut that. And then once I've stamped my house, I'm going to stick that on there and just cut it and make a little arch. My little dingle dangles, I've pre-stamped those. I'm going to sponge those with a little bit of toffee in a minute. I've got my hands for the clock, and I had my pokey tool here, and I'm going to stick those together and poke a hole through the middle so I can put my little brad in there and push it through a bit. You could use a little hole punch, but you don't want your hole too big. It's only enough to push a brad through. These are my other bits. So that's my frame I've done in cream, my spinner, and my 2 discs. And then this is for the card base, which I didn't bring a card blank over, but that's all right. It's basically just a card front stuck on a blank. So we're going to do some work to this piece, that, and this disc. So let's get the easy stuff done first. So with the espresso ink, I think I've already got it loaded. Looking. Why is it whenever you want? Oh, I've loaded it on the block already. This here is the numbers. The numbers come in a nice little square, so you don't have to scratch your head trying to get them lined up. I'm going to grab my my espresso ink, stampy, line him up. I found the numbers will line up with the indent in the scallop. You know how a scallop goes down and then up, so in the valley. So that's that. Nice, even, perfect. So I'm going to pop that there. While I've got that, I'm going to poke a hole in the center. I just like to finish things as I go. Going to grab a brad. For this one I've used a, it's up to you. You don't have to poke a hole in them. You could just stick them on. If you've got a nice sticker, Diamante, I'm going to use a little brad through here. I've got like a rustic looking one, or antique looking one. The little hand goes on the bottom, doesn't it? Yes. So I'll be all fingers and thumbs. How's everybody doing tonight? Everybody ready for the long weekend? Some of you it's the long weekend all the time, I know. Right, I like my hands at 10 and 2. Oh, go. Or not, that'll do. Fold him over. That's basically that one done. I'm just going to stick him in the middle of that with a little bit of thin foam tape. I've mainly used this 1/4 inch foam tape that's the thin for these cards. But when I stick them down, I'll show you where I am. You don't need a lot, just enough to stick it down. I just wanted this to pop a little bit. That's that bit done. I'll put all my done bits in one pile. Right, next I'm going to stamp the top of this card here. So I'm just using the swirl. There's a corner swirl and it's just 4 corners and the rest is a bit of sponging. I'm not going to use espresso ink though. That would be a tragedy. I'm going to use toffee. You could use whatever you liked, but I don't want this too dark. So I'm just going to go around the card. That's it for that. And my toffee sponge. So you girls are all over sponging. I'm going to leave a big white space in the middle. Now this is not my idea, it's one that I found on Pinterest. I think it was from a CTMH consultant called Maz Wood. I know for sure it was an Australian consultant. And the moving isn't the camera, the moving is my table. All right, that's about all I'm going to do there, so you can see what I've done. I'm going to set that to the side. Next thing I'm going to work on, I'm going to grab this beautiful floral, look at my dirty block, my blue floral there, and I'm going to stamp the house. So basically it's just going to be sort of 3 sections. Doesn't have to be even. And so you can stamp some flowers over the doors if you'd like, or, and I'll show you for the back of the doors because it's super cute. So before I sponge this, I'm going to, they've got these cute little doors. And so I'm just going to stamp with toffee, flip this over and stamp on the back. Little doors, look, aren't they cute? And then when you flip it open, you'll see the doors there. It's cute, isn't it? I'm going to use that again in a minute. Right, toffee ink. And I'm just going to give that a good rub. Mainly on the edges, and just give it a good sponge in. That'll do. Right, so a couple of things now to do. I'm going to stick on my tape. I'm going to stick on my fascia, or I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Little trim. I'm aiming to cut it down on the point. Cut a bit off. And tuck it in. It's pretty good. Trim the bit that's hanging off. So basically I cut that down the middle and tucked this side underneath and then cut that off. Now remember, I've pre-cut, this is just the bottom of this cut in a different colour and then stamped. So I'm going to stick that on the bottom. Now before I stick this on, I'm going to put a little bit of thick foam tape. So they're 1/4 inch stuff still, but the thick stuff. On the back here, oops, I know what I forgot to do. I need to sponge these little beasties. I stamped these ones in espresso this time rather than toffee. I just wanted a different effect. Now I'll put my tape on there, and then I'm going to stick my dangly things. I don't know what they're called. If anybody knows what they're called, you should tell me, rather than call them dangly bits. I'll Google it later so I've got it right. So they're stuck on. the back of that. While I'm going, I will put some foam tape on the rest of this, just so I don't forget. Not that I will. So this is the thicker foam tape. Okay, so that's that one. I'm just gonna pop the clock on. I'm gonna stick that directly down. And he just will sit sort of just a smidge down, but it'd help if he was lined up in the middle. And you'll be able to move that around just gently, gently, however you want it. All right, we're not far away from completing our card. I leave this bit to the last. I like to put this on over and get my little thing lined up. So this is where my little template comes in. So you can just stick these two together. I don't know if you can see that in the light. There's little notch marks that you'll be able to see. If you want it more visible, you can mark them with a pencil. So just for this, I've got it, grab the brad, and then I'm going to use my little template to get that going. Now if you have a look here, I've put little birdies, and it spins, and it's cuckoo. And you'll probably notice I didn't stamp that. I've only figured that out afterwards. So I've got my little birds here. I've got two birds on that one. I've got the bird and the feet, which I'll stamp in black. And then I've got cuckoo. I'm going to do all the stamping in espresso, except for the birdie beaks. So espresso, black. Let's go. Hopefully my head's not going to get in the road. So I'm stamping the little birdies up a little bit, but aiming for the middle. So that's one. And then I'm going to go cuckoo. That's enough from the peanut gallery. I know I already am. And spin it around. And I've got to say, having the template makes it so much easier. I found my first time doing this, I got ink everywhere. But having this sort of the plastic, it's a bit of a protection as well. And then I'm going to finish with the word. So there's 6 spaces there. Now, you could make things a bit closer if you wanted to. I just stick with the 6 guidelines that they've got. Right, I'm going to take this off because that's done. Apart from, I'm going to keep my brad. Apart from, I've got to do the tiny little spin me. And I do those directly in the middle of each one on the outer stitched edge. So if you can see the stitch lines there, I'm doing it right on the outer edge. And just a gentle touch. There's another set that had arrows. So that's that. All right, so now I'm going to finish building my spinner. I'm going to grab my brad. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Everybody's screaming at me. Don't forget the eyes of the bird. Okay, I won't. No, so they definitely need a gentle touch. Otherwise, he just looks like he's been punched in the face. I found it was easier just to line his feet up. My cuckoo bird. And if you missed a little bit, just get your pen and draw on. Draw the legs a little bit longer. I was a little bit, didn't get over him quite tight enough. If you didn't like to fiddle around, you could just draw his legs on. Right, so, sorry, go back. Put the lid on that. So you put one disc on the front of the spinner, and then one goes on the back. And then you flatten your brad. Okay, and this is where I like to use the thin foam tape. So I put 2 pieces there, top and bottom on the brad. Because do not stick the big circle down. We're only sticking the little circles around because the little your big one needs to be free spinning. I'm going to get some more thin foam tape because 2 pieces of thin make a thick in height. And I'm going to stick that one on there as well. So this is where I find, well, this is how I do it. Basically, I get my top card and then I hold it over the stitch line there on the base, and then I stick the spinner with the foam tape, because I've taken the colour off, to that. So there's my little birdie, there's his spinny, round and round he goes. Then what I'm going to do, I'll just get my thick foam tape and put that on this spinner front but on the back. So I don't want it to sag, I want it to sit up nicely so that the spinner will spin quite well. But then I don't want the foam tape touching the spinner at all, because I don't want it to stop it from spinning. So just be mindful of that when you're doing these little beasties. Don't be tight on the foam tape. I think I've said that a couple of times this week. Okay, now I'm just going to pull that off. Now you'll possibly notice that I haven't added a sentiment to these. You don't necessarily have to. Your sentiment can go on the inside. No worries. We've got some really nice sentiment stamps at the moment. There's a lovely happy birthday stamp that's coming out in the catalogue that becomes live on Friday. Okay, so this is my card front. I'm just going to line that up. I always find it's easier for me to line it up at the bottom. If I go in on an angle, I can look at the 2 corners and I can look at the bottom, see that it's equal distance. Stick it down and hope for the best. That wasn't too shabby. Now, all I've got to do to finish the card is to stick on my little birdhouse. Don't mind me working upside down. Again, there's a stitch line. I can line that up with the curve of the little house. Hope that he's straight, even, happy days. Done. So just imagine that on a card base. I've got one here somewhere, but anyway, you get it. So how cute is that? Give me a heart if you like it. Now, do you want me to take you through the next one? Or have I bored you for too long? My next one's this one. So exactly the same, a little bit different. Using stamping, decorations, and whatnot. I can just refresh you through the whole process. Who's there? I got a few. All right, let's do it. I haven't had any negatives. This one, I would put a sentiment on the inside for sure. So put that there. I'm changing this one up. I'm using a different coloured base. I thought I might give the saffron base a go. See how that works out. I am using the lighter side of the sage cardstock. The standard cards base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 is the front, so that's 8 1/2 by 11. All right. Basically, it will be the decorating process again. So I'm going to put my roof on. You can see me now. I've got my tongue hanging out. I'm concentrating really hard. There's a reason why the camera's not front facing. All right, while I've got this little beastie here, I'm changing up colours. I don't need espresso or coffee. I'm going to use New England Ivy, Sapphire and Saffron. There's no sponging at all. I'm going to stamp the windows front and back on this one. I'm just going to stick my little trim on that I fussy cut so you didn't have to watch me doing that. Alright, I'm going to stamp my numbers. I'm going to use Sapphire. And I'm going to chase my hands down. Come out, wherever you are. Oh, Houston, we have a problem. That's the problem with all these little bits. Things go walking. All right, I'll just have to look for that in a minute. All right, I've stamped two little trees. I can find one. I can find two. That's winning. Right, so the two little trees. I'm just going to run a little bit of tape on the back and a little bit of tape on the inside sides of those. Because they're going to tuck behind but tuck back over like that. See? Very chateau. I'm going to stick the blue on and then I'll go back and you'll know how to do the hands, but I won't bore you through putting on that. Right, the stamp set has got these really cute, lots of little leaves, but there's little cute ones here, little tiny ones. I'm going to stamp them in green and then I'll stamp the little flower on in saffron. That is green, yes. And they go left and right. So they're going to go the right way. The curve's going to be the right way. Okay. A little flower. Saffron. Now this stamp set gone tomorrow, if it's not gone already. Just had to rearrange the furniture to get that one in. Okay. Now, while I've got the saffron out, I'm going to stamp the little bird. On our base. Oh, I tell you, there's bits missing everywhere. I've done it. There's my two circles. There's that one, and I know I've got lots of circles here. that I've pre-cut. So, little brad. It's exactly the same process. Who have I lost? Nobody? That's good. Right, little birds. Who likes this little card? How cute is it? There must be something on that that's missing. Right, cuckoo. I'm doing cuckoo in blue. I reckon you could do a layout with this. There's a challenge for me, isn't there? I have to tell you though, this little template is a saver. It's a time saver. Okay, take that off. Oh no, I should just do the little, let's do the feet. I always forget the feet. Oh, maybe not. Done there, and what colour? I think I did the Spin Me in black. You can do it in blue. I wouldn't recommend doing it in yellow. I think you'd lose it. You can see it. Saffron. Spin, spin. Okie dokie. So, as you can see, I've used French vanilla cardstock on the front there. Doesn't matter, nobody's going to see it. Now, there's probably, not to scare you, there's about an hour of prep in this card by the time, well, to do the two cards. By the time I got through and cut all the bits and to assemble, so it's a little bit of work, but it's good. It's nice, and I'm sure whoever gets the card will appreciate it. One thing I might do, so can you see on this card I've done the little dangles? Now if you wanted to put a sentiment on the front, I wouldn't recommend putting the little dangly things on there. But I'm not going to put a sentiment on the front, I'll put my sentiment on the inside. I'm going to stamp my little dangly things, because these are a little bit different, in blue. I've got them on the block. And I'm just guessing. Doesn't matter, I can hang the danglies over it more if I need to. I have stamped them out too somewhere. I've got little bits and pieces running around everywhere. Okay, so now I'm going to line up my back again. Made that look pretty simple, didn't I? Get the foam out. Not the phone, the foam. It's easier to stamp on that card front spinner before you've got any foam stuck down or anything. Just makes it a lot easier. So apparently with this National Scrapbooking Day thing on Sunday, there are over 500 prizes that they will post to you. So I think if you're a winner, you'll get contacted. Please provide your address and away you go. How lovely would it be to win something? All right, I'm going to use the lighter side. Again, I'm going to sneeze, sorry. Line this up on the angle. Try to get it even. Now, I'm not going to 3D this one because I don't really need to. But I will tuck these little beasties in. It's optional. It's completely optional whether or not you 3D it or not. You don't necessarily need to. I don't know if I've put this up far enough. Oh dear. Look at that. I've actually put them too far down. So what I could do to fix it, because I'm a nupty, yes I know Dawn, stop laughing, is upside down Miss Jane and just extend my little dangly things up. So there you go. I make mistakes too, but we can fix them. Again, I would put a little bit of 3D foam behind that. I've got no idea. I cut the little bits out, but they've gone. So it's little bits like the little knocker things, and I've lost my hands. So tell me, what did you think? Good? No, they're gone. I'm gonna have to go and oh no, this one, I found one, so I can stick one on, and I found one hand, so half of it's missing. Oh, there it is, found it. We're getting there. I'm going to take the camera down, have a look, see if there's any comments, answer them if I need to, and then, yeah, thanks for joining us. Hi Ange, hi Donna, hi Dawn, hi Leanne, Jenny, Rose, Narelle, Tracy. I counterweights, thank you Kerry. Hi Karen, Leslie, Robin, hi Beck. All right, well, that's it for me. I look a bit frazzled tonight, don't I? I shall see you on Saturday. We've got 10 a.m. class. Yeah, take it easy. Let me know if, order's going in tomorrow night, probably about 8 o'clock. So you need to let me know if you need anything. That'll be great. Thanks. Bye.